welcome to all the participants from banks, senior executives, and active bankers, as well as those who have retired from the banks and are member of this group insurance policy. We have as audience from public sector banks, from foreign banks and private bank also. All those banks who have subscribed to this policy of IBA are participant. And I also extend warm welcome to executives from NICL, the insurance policy provider. I have with me Shri Atul Malhotra ji sitting next to me on my left hand side. A warm welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
And we also have other team members from NICL, Madam Gayatri Iyer, Priyanka Arora, and Suesh Anand. Warm welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
And I have our senior advisor, Shri Arvind Mishra ji, on my right hand side. He is also joining this webinar. And in the beginning itself, I will just explain to you the need of this webinar and the process we have followed to arrange this. In the past also, we have done it earlier. Our understanding is that the policy needs to be understood properly. Otherwise, at times we may have some complaints about the issues, which are otherwise prohibited or not covered in the insurance policy. So we requested NICL from this angle that an interaction will help us. And to arrive at this present position, we requested all the banks to share with us the concerns or complaints or queries of the individual subscribers to this insurance policy. So we received a big number of queries, doubts they wanted. So we thought we'll get answers to all these queries or the stand of NICL on these issues directly from the senior executives from NICL. Hence, this team of NICL with Shri Malhotra ji is here. So I will not take much time here. And this is a beginning, not the end. So even after hearing all these answers from NICL, if you still feel that there are some unattended queries or you need further clarification, please do not hesitate to share with us. We may consider and we may request NICL to hold this webinar once again, maybe in 3 months' time or quicker. Earlier also it is possible. But we are open to the suggestions and to make the processes more simpler and to make the insurance, the claim much simpler. The reason is that why a person will approach insurance company when they are in trouble, like somebody is hospitalized. So that is a time when they need help. And if we are not accessible or if we are not able to give solution, that really hurts more to anybody. It will hurt anybody. So today we will be getting answers to many of the queries and questions which we have in our mind from NICL Direct. Thank you very much once again to all of you for joining us or for viewing this interaction. And thanks once again to NICL for coming here and joining us in this webinar. With this, I will hand over to Shri Malhotra ji. You can answer the questions, and as far as the cashless process is concerned, he can explain to us that what is a process for the hospitals which are registered with us in panel, and whether there is any other way for those hospitals which are not registered, which are not empaneled, whether we can still have some cashless benefit in those hospitals. Sir, over to you, Malhotra sir.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you very much. At the beginning, we'd like to thank IBA management, which has been very supportive in running of this policy. This has been the 6th year, and it is an honor and privilege for entire NIC management to serve India's largest policy. And as sir has rightly mentioned, that it is more like a prayer for us rather than the service aspect, that the person who are in need of a hospitalization, we provide them the support when they really need it. It is a request. Whenever there are certain issues, you can escalate it to us or to the IBA if you find there are certain deficiencies out there. We are open to all type of criticism also, and improvement is never ending thing. To start with, We will start with one of the basic things where the major problem arises, that is the cashless. Of late, IRDA has started a new concept of IRD cashless for everyone. And our NIC management has extended it for IBA. The instructions has been given to the TPA. I will explain in a brief what actually it really means. In IPD cases, there are two types of admissions. One is planned, one is unplanned. Planned is where you know on which date you are getting admitted. Suppose for cataract surgery, for your TKR, that is knee replacement, or any major things. There you approach the TPA well in advance. TPA gives you the approval through the hospital so that you can, whenever you are walking in for your treatment, you need not have to pay anything. Now comes the unplanned thing, which is almost a nightmare for the retirees also. Unplanned means, suppose
ये क्या हमारे यहाँ हो रहा है या
for unplanned treatment, like some unforeseen things like accident, cardiac arrest, or any test type of thing which happens at odd hours, for which a person is never ready and had never thought of. If you get, or any of the person is getting admitted into the hospital, that is unplanned treatment. There you have no time for anything. You have, the first call is to save yourself or your relative. When you get admitted into the hospital, you immediately go for admission. You have to deposit certain amount, and then only the treatment start. Here also, one rescue has been given it out to all the people. In case of unplanned surgeries, if within 24 to 48 hours you contact your TPA, the TPA will try to convert this unplanned treatment, which was a reimbursement case, into the cashless case. And in this cashless case, you will have a lot of the main benefit of the normal cashless. All the amount deposited by you at the time of admission even will be refunded to you, provided hospital agrees. There are certain clauses and conditions which hospital has to abide by. So I would always request, in case if you are going for any unplanned treatment, the first call is always whether it's a planned treatment, go for cashless. If it is an unplanned treatment, go for and get it converted into cashless. What is the advantage of cashless? In case of cashless, you don't have to pay anything from your pocket. You may have to focus only on the treatment of your relative who is admitted into the hospital. Second call, you need not have to pay extra amount. All these network hospitals and PPN hospital, insurance company has got entered into a special agreement, and for all these procedures which are mentioned there, we have a discounted rate. If open billing is done, suppose you pay 1 lakh rupees. If you go through our network hospital or through our cashless, you may have to pay just the 70,000 or 60,000, the agreed amount. In that case, you need not have to pay anything from your pocket. Second thing, the sum insured left out will help you in future for future arrangement. So I would just request the entire fraternity that God forbid, if there is any unplanned treatment and all that, please do emphasize for the cashless treatment. I would just mention out here that the basic purpose of this policy is to have maximum cashless treatment. All those people who are even going for planned treatment into the network hospitals and are not availing the cashless facility, sooner or later you have to pay extra from your pocket, which will burn your pocket, and you will be left out with less sum insured for the near future. This is one aspect out here for the cashless. Second thing, which is a challenge, which is always believed, is TAT. Whether the initial cashless authorization comes in time, whether the final cashless bill is approved by the TPA well in time. As per the IRDA guidelines, initial authorization has to be in first 60 minutes and the final bill has to be in 3 hours. I will just share here out certain things which make the delay in cashless approvals. Once you are admitted into there, please, I would just request that any other person of your family should be well aware of the fact how to avail the cashless facility. Normally, hospital delays the call and remittance of the documents to the TPA. If the documents are not sent on time, approval will definitely be delayed. So whenever someone is getting admitted, there is always a dedicated TPA desk in every hospital. Please ensure that the person who is along with you should be able to contact the TPA desk and get this cashless approval sent in time so that you get the approval also in time. That is one call. Second is at the time of discharge. Normally it is believed that discharge takes 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. Normally it is not happen. Generally what happens when the doctor visits the patient in the morning during the round time, they see all the parameters being okay. They advise them that, okay, today we will discharge you. But it is for a patient, the discharge time starts from that. But actually, by the time the hospital arranges out all the documents, it takes them 4 to 6 hours minimum to arrange all that one. After completion of the round, the doctor will advise his junior. A junior will prepare the discharge summary. They will send it to the bill department and then to pharmacy. All when reports, bills, and every document get accumulated at one location, then they send it to the TPA, who then forward these documents to the TPA for the final approval. So normally, whatsoever the time is always said, and whatsoever time actually when the documents are transferred to the TPA, there is a big gap. It is not on real time basis. I would just request whenever there is a discharge, someone from your family should be aware of it and should follow this with their TPA desk. There will always be an escalation matrix. In case you find that TPA not responding to you, kindly use that matrix and it will be taken care of. So just these two are the things will help you in reducing out the grievances related with the cashless, whether it is initial approval or at the final stage. Thanks for this. Now we'll start with the question and answer, sir.
I think there are two big lessons in what you said. One is that our family members should be aware about the process to be followed
Yes, sir.
for reporting to TPA, and the facility can be availed even if the hospital is not empaneled.
Right, very well.
But there is a procedure laid down for that.
Right.
So if our family members are aware about the process, the pain can be reduced.
Exactly.
So it can happen. Generally we know, being bankers, what is the process to be followed, but our family members don't. They are not aware. So we should prepare our
Educated.
family members also.
Such-
They should know the process to be followed. That is one big lesson, I think, out of the guidance you have given in this presentation. Thank you very much. We can go to the Q&A. So now, just a request to all of you. We will continue to have this live webcasting, but there is some problem, some noise is there. So we may have to shift to some other room if need be. But now I think it has stopped. So disturbance is not there. We can continue here. Yeah, over to you, Prakash.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for explaining this cashless process and the benefits which we can derive out of this. And as sir said, it is very important to know all the family members also, because ultimately it is of use when all the family members are aware of this. Sir, one of the very important queries which we are receiving from our banker colleagues, it's about cataract related claims. So if you can throw some light on clarification regarding bifurcation of cost of procedure and lens within available ceiling and active
So this time IBA was kind enough that they decided a pre-decided limit for the upper limit for cataract treatment, including lens and pre and post hospitalization, will be 40,000 per eye. That is there. Second thing is the insurer and our appointed TPA, we maintain established pre-existing contractual agreements with a vast network of hospitals pan-India, that is nationwide. These are called PPN rates or network rates. PPN rates are, as you know, tripartite rates, and network rates are bipartite, agreed between the hospital and the TPA, which are agreement that is designed to provide members with standardized, reasonable pricing for quality medical procedures. As these rates are legally binding, the insurer will limit claim settlement to the agreed upon package rates specific to each network hospital. The insurer cannot supersede these existing agreements to accommodate higher billing outside of the negotiated schedule. Like deduction applies when any other type like multifocal toric lens are used, which also correct the refractive error more than what is required. Associated non-medical expenses with respect to the treatment and standard exclusions under the policy are not payable. So, as all cataract surgeries are planned in nature, so we will recommend that insured should contact the TPA in advance to avail the cashless facility to avoid any grievance at a later stage.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Then, sir, regarding admissibility of dental treatment undertaken in a dental hospital. So, what are the facilities
Sir.
covered under the policies for dental treatment? Can you please?
We think this requires clarification in black and white. The policy ascertains coverage of dental treatment after factoring in the following aspect. The first thing is outpatient exclusion. Any dental procedure or treatment or consultation performed in outpatient capacity, that is OPD, including but not limited to examination, filling, root canal treatment, and preventive prophylaxis is expressively excluded from the scope of the policy. Routine dental treatments often do not necessitate the need for hospitalization and are performed as outpatient procedure. Hence, the claims are being denied as per policy terms and conditions. Cosmetic limitation. No coverage shall be extended for dental services rendered for aesthetic, cosmetic, or reconstructive purpose. Inpatient eligibility. Notwithstanding what we said above, the company may indemnify the insured person for surgeries which are medically necessary and required, like inpatient hospitalization, like in oral cancer, jaw surgeries, and that type of fractures basically.
Sir, thank you. Then we have queries regarding maternity claims. These are not being processed up to full limit. So,
So it is not like that. Actually, the limit policy clearly specifies the limit for maternity claim under the policy, that is 50,000 for normal delivery and 75,000 for cesarean one, including the expenses in respect of the newborn child. Deduction, if there is any, sir, it acts because insured offer a higher room limit, or it is related with associated non-medical expenses with respect to the treatment and general standard exclusions which are given in the policy.
so that means ceiling is there. If it is within that ceiling, it is admissible.
So one thing, at the room rent, everyone has been given out a room rent capping. The ones if you take a higher of one, all the expenses are related with the room rent. So that things get proportionately decreased.
And sir, maternity related claims in complex cases, medically necessary treatments when duly certified by the treating doctor. So should be considered as part of maternity related expenses. This is the advised opinion.
So we will just share that because the policy terms and conditions are very clear about it. The missed abortions, miscarriages, medical termination of pregnancy or abortion induced by accidents are covered under the limit of maternity. Complications in maternity, including operation for extrauterine ectopic pregnancy, is also covered.
Sir, can you give some clarity regarding admissibility of pre and postnatal expenses, newborn baby expenses?
Prenatal and postnatal are covered up to 30 days and 60 days respectively, only if the same requires hospitalization. Coverage for the newborn medical treatment, that is 20,000, is triggered only in instance of illness or complication, which may require active clinical investigation beyond standard postnatal care. This does not cover the standard policy exclusion, such as vaccinations, hospitals primarily for investigation or evaluation purposes for well baby care. Admissibility of prenatal and postnatal maternity claims in OPD will just clear it that the term, unless the same require hospitalization, It means if the prenatal and postnatal expenses are incurred during hospitalization, that is any previous hospitalization during the period of 30 days of delivery or post 60 days of delivery, the term unless it is to be interpreted as if only, and thus without hospitalization, prenatal and postnatal expenses are not payable as per the operative clause of the policy.
Sir, we are receiving some representations that TPA is not sanctioning claims related to well baby charges, that is newborn baby charges.
So it's good that we should clear it out. Coverage for newborn medical treatment, the 20,000 limit which is given there, is triggered only in instance of illness or complication requiring active clinical intervention beyond standard postnatal care, which is clearly mentioned in the operative clause of our policy. This does not cover the standard policy exclusion as earlier mentioned, like vaccination, non-medical expenses, hospitalization primarily for investigation and evaluation purpose, and well baby care expenses.
Sir, can you just throw some light on definition of complications for maternity-related claims?
It's a very complex thing, sir. Conditions that occur during labor, delivery, or postpartum period that may affect the health and require immediate medical care by a medical practitioner to prevent death or serious impairment of the mother's health. That is something called complication in maternity.
Sir, just give a brief about what are the detailed modalities regarding admissibility of infertility-related claims.
This requires some clarification because it was introduced for the first time. Infertility related claims are not covered under base policy. Although, as per IBA 2526, the treatment is payable up to 50% of top up policy sum insured if opted. The policy clears that policy covers infertility treatment for the insured and their spouse if done as inpatient or daycare procedures because no OPD procedures are covered under it. Advanced procedures are only payable if standard medical treatments have already failed. Expenses toward diagnostic tests related to infertility, reversing a tubal ligation or vasectomy, preserving and storing of sperms, eggs, embryos, egg donor or sperm donor, experimental treatments are all excluded from the scope of the policy.
So, our banker colleagues generally ask about immunotherapy injection-related claims. Can you
Sir, IBA was very kind that it has been introduced this time. Immunotherapy, that is monoclonal antibody therapy, for both cancer as well as for non-cancer patients are covered from this year onward under the list of daycare procedures of the IBA 2526 policy, provided the drug is indicated and approved by FDA, CDSCO for this specific disease condition. That is very important. We get a lot of queries where the treatment is given by the drug which is not approved by the authorities and which is not a standard protocol for a specific disease.
So these days, this robotic treatment and surgeries, robotic procedures, they are becoming very popular. So our viewers would like to know when these claims are admissible.
To avoid or prevent some misuse of these robotic charges and all that, it was mentioned in the RFP also that robotic surgery shall be considered only in case where the medical condition of the patient warrants such treatment, which needs to be duly justified by the treating doctor. This is a very important clause because I will like that so many queries and escalations are there. It is not for shorter duration, less blood loss, age factor or anything. It need to be the medical condition of that person that he warrants robotic treatment only.
So can you please just clarify on medical justification for advanced procedures for robotics?
So it's good that it is related with the earlier one because advanced or robotic surgery is covered only when medically necessary and conventional treatment, which was earlier available, pose high risk to the patient. In such cases, the treating doctor must provide a justification explaining why standard or conventional procedures are not suitable for the patient, and there is a need and justification for advanced and robotic surgery, considering the medical condition of the patient rather than other factors. TPA medical team will review the medical necessity to determine the final decision and will take the call accordingly.
So some of our insured colleagues have come across that some TPAs, they have denied the hospitalization claims pertaining to pain management, conservative management, stating that there is no active line of treatment during hospitalization.
So many cases come where there is no active line of treatment because the policy is very clear about not misuse of such type of hospitalization. So our exclusion clause in the policy very clearly mentions 4.1 says investigation evaluation. Expenses related to any admission primarily for diagnostic and evaluation purpose only are excluded. There's another clause 4.2 which says rest cure, rehabilitation, and respite care. Any expenses related to any admission, primarily for enforced bed rest and not for receiving treatment, are outside the scope of the policy. Another clause further mentioned 4.4 says stay in a hospital which is not medically necessary is not considered. So this is all because it being a operative clause and hospitalization policy, these are effective factors, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, next, what are the chances of admissibility of claims wherein samples for investigation and related payment done in Indian jurisdiction, however, report analyzed in foreign territory?
So a lot of queries are coming nowadays. So many tests are being arranged by the hospitals, but our policy condition very clearly mentions that as per policy clause 6.6, territorial limit, all medical treatment, that is consultations, investigations, hospitalization, for the purpose of the policy will have to be taken in India only.
So, some concerns have raised over linking of cashless claim payment instead of settlement with pre-post cashless hospitalization claims.
So this was a very genuine issue, but because of the call from the IBA, national management has taken a call. Now necessary changes has been done. Now pre-post claim can be paid even before the payment of the main cashless claims, which has been introduced based on the demand of our client IBA. Now it is not linked. Now independently pre-post claims can be paid before cashless can be settled.
Very well. And so, some deductions are on the higher side for many process claims. It was also the
So we have already shared that. Still, I will like to repeat for the benefit of the insured fraternity. Whenever you are opting for a higher room rent limit, there will be a proportionate deduction. If there are some non-medical expenses which are given as per policy annexure, which are not payable in any policy, the amount whatever the hospital charges you will remain deducted when TPA will process the claim.
So some suggestions have come that bills and discharge summary standard format as prescribed by IRDA.
So we are also bound by IRDA guidelines. What we like to mention that what are the standard formats of discharge summary and bills are introduced by the IRDA, we follow that protocol, sir.
And sir, what is the requirement of this GST number in pharmacy bills? So the
We
importance
think
of this-
that we need to emphasize on it because the policy clearly mentions the policy clause 4.23 says wherein no pharmacy bills will be reimbursed if not submitted with a valid GST number. But there is a catch in case where the insureds are submitting a pharmacy bill without a GST number because they are exempted as per provision of section 22 of the CGST Act 2017. We would require a written declaration from the pharmacy with seal and sign confirming and stating that they fall under the provisions of Web Act, they are exempt from the GST registration because of their turnover.
Thank you. Sir, this whether pharmacy bills without DL number, that is drug license number, batch number and expiry date are admissible?
Sir, it is a standard practice and governed by Drug and Cosmetic Rule 1945, which requires mandatorily that every bill should have drug license number, name of drug, batch number, expiry, manufacturer name, quantity, patient or doctor's detail, and pharmacist bill. This is just to prevent that no duplicate or forfeited medicines can be sold in the market, sir.
Sir, all scopies along with biopsies, whether they are all covered?
So standalone scopies as well as standalone biopsies are not payable. This is very clear mention in the policy, and we too re-emphasize it. All standalone scopies as well as biopsies are not payable.
So can you just explain what are the reasonable and customary charges?
So this we have done. It is mentioned in the policy. This has been a very important aspect and worldwide accepted fact. Reasonable and customary charges are the charges for services or supplies, which are the standard charge for the specific provider and consistent with the prevailing charges in that geographical area for identical or similar services, taking into account the nature of illness and the injury involved. It is a very important aspect. We will really like to mention the reasonable and customary justifies that whatever the customary rate for that particular ailment or procedure which are prevailing in that geographical area is, that becomes a threshold level to justify what should be the bar for it.
Thank you. Sir, what is the guidelines? What are the guidelines for admissibility of cross-pathy claims?
It's another matter, sir, which requires some opening. Like the IBA policy defines a medical practitioner, that a practitioner is a person who holds a valid registration from the medical council of any state or medical council of India or council for Indian medicine or homeopathy set up by government of India or by any state government, and is thereby entitled to practice medicine within its jurisdiction and is acting within the scope and jurisdiction of that license. Cross-pathy actually refers to a medical practitioner trained in one system of medicine, practicing or prescribing medicine from another system for which they are not explicitly trained or licensed. As cross-pathy does not fall into the definition of a medical practitioner, the IBA policy, in IBA policy, cross-pathy claims will not be covered.
Sir, what is the validity of signature in lab reports?
It is a requirement that all lab reports not signed by MD pathologists will not be accepted. Reports which are duly signed digitally by the pathologist will be acceptable, but it should be signed by MD pathologist as per the rule.
And sir, what is the limits on payment made by cash? This also our viewers want.
There are a lot of issues when people submit bill where the cash component is more than 2 lakhs. The section 269 of the Income Tax Act 1961 very clearly says no person is allowed to receive an amount of cash more than 2 lakh in a single day. So complying with this, all those bills where the payment was made with more than 2 lakh rupees in cash in a single day will not be accepted.
Thank you, sir. With this, we come to end of the whatever queries or doubts our banker colleagues have in mind we have received till now. One or two queries more come if are ready to attend, or otherwise we can reply afterwards also.
You can
Actually, they want to know procedure for dialysis.
The procedure for dialysis is already covered. Whenever there is such a case, you refer it to TPA. Nowadays, TPA gives you a blanket approval for 8 or 10 dialysis, depending upon your eligibility. The only thing is there may be some cases where the people will be asking for single diluter cost and all that one. That depends upon the medical condition of the patient. On the basis of the merit of the case, TPA takes the call.
Sir, about knee replacement surgery, whether it's covered?
It is covered. Knee replacement is covered in the policy scheme, but it will be conventional if there is someone is going for robotic, there should be, as clearly mentioned, the medical condition of the person should warrant it, and the treating doctor should justify that on what medical grounds he is recommending the robotic surgery over conventional surgery.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We would just like to thank all esteemed stakeholders, IBA management, banks management, banks HR department, all union leaders who have been stakeholders, TPA teams, and our partners. As we conclude this webinar, we extend heartfelt thanks to each one of you for making this policy a success over the last 6 years. Your support has been instrumental in serving those in need. At NIC, we are committed to delivering excellence to our insured, driven by a sense of service beyond the business. This is a mission, a prayer to humanity. We seek your blessings and good wishes as a guiding force. Thank you again for your partnership.
Thank you, Malhotra sir. Thank you very much. I think all these clarifications which you have given will be useful for all our members. Still, if you have some doubt, please don't hesitate to share your queries with us. If we have enough number of queries
Through banks.
yeah, so through banks also you can send it to us, and for retirees it may not be possible to send through banks. We'll share the email address, they can share with us. So we may consider again holding a webinar and request
please, sir.
executives from NICL to help us in answering these
Anytime,
queries.
sir.
So thank you very much. Thanks to all of you. Thank you very much, NICL representatives.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With this, we conclude the webinar here. Thank you.